Let me show you something. One time walking through a neighborhood, the setting of light interested me and I took a picture on my phone. So this is the picture, and let me show you how I changed this simple reference into something more interesting. So while taking the picture, I thought this would look nice with person walking through lit concrete pathway, so I went with it. And the cool thing about street lights is that they create these really interesting spheres, like a theater spotlight. They can create drama in regular spaces. When painting artificial light, there's this interesting thing happening with color temperature. Street light create these distinct zones. You got the area under the light, which is usually warm, light yellow glow. But as you move away from the light source, the color becomes drastically cooler, like on the opposite side of the color wheel. And this is because the ambient light, night light, is bluish. That's what we are used to. So we're basically working with two main color temperatures competing with each other. The artificial warm light is kind of like fighting against the natural cool darkness. That's what creates such interesting color contrast in night scenes. Also it I think it plays good as a balanced color palette. Both of these tones look good together. Another tricky thing is getting the light fall off right. Light doesn't just suddenly stop, it gradually fades out. While painting, we need to create that smooth transition from light to shadow. Also, grass is insanely tricky, painted in any light condition. In daytime, often it's more orange and yellow, or more towards blue, depending on the weather. Also, I read some time ago somewhere to avoid pure green at all costs. And I don't really use pure green, rather more orange or any other. And the color next to it, in contrast, make it appear green. It's like a relativity or something. And here, as you can see, I play with color temperature a lot, from bright yellow through green to dark blue in the shadows. And by the way, there's a whole 2-page chapter in book Color and Light. This chapter is about the problem of green, which is really interesting. Another thing is the light is also bouncing around, creating these tiny reflected lights. And that's why even in darker areas you might want to add just tiny hints of that warm street light, like those tiny brushes. And in the reality, there's multiple light sources bouncing around, other street lights, windows, maybe even moonlight. But I simplified it to create more focus on the main path and figure. And the perspective of the path really helps to pull the focus on the scene. And that pathway is almost like a runway guiding your eye through the composition. And this kind of everyday regular street at night can become something kind of interesting if you want to express it as your version and pay attention to the light. And that's what I was trying to capture. If you want me to explain any part of the process in more detail, just drop a comment, and I hope you like this one. Thanks.